Morning everyone. I hope you're all having a interesting but good week, or a good start to the week at least. I hope everyone's doing well and they've all had good weekends. I thought I'd come on and do a staying sane in an insane world, because I'm sure all of you are all feeling the same, and I've spoken to so many of my friends over the weekend and none of us really know what to do. I know that I'm meant to be going into the office today, but at the same time, do I go into the office? And I'm concerned about it, but at the same time, I also plan to go to the gym. So surely I've got to look at it from both sides. If I'm willing to go to the gym, am I willing to go into the office? And what am I willing to do? So many people saying to stay home, not to leave, but then at the same time, I'm being told by my company to go in. So it's tricky, right? It's tricky to know what to do. And if any of you saw my post from yesterday when we were talking about, people that are on 0-hour contracts, for instance, people that are contractors, people in the health service that are also, and I don't mean people that are doctors, but, people that are, say, dentists and physios and people that go a lot, that you pay to see, and you pay to see on a 6 monthly basis or monthly basis. What do you do in these situations? Are we still going? Are we not going? It'd be really interesting. I'd be really interested to hear, what your thoughts are and what you're planning on doing. Are you going into the office? Are you staying home and locking in? Because one of the biggest things I think that everyone's worried about is that, are we symptomless, and are we, and are we passing it on without realising it? Which obviously brings its own set of challenges, right? And I think one of the biggest things about staying sane in an insane world is just having a moment just to calm yourself and just say, right, what is it that I feel comfortable with? What is it that I want to do? Because I think the biggest reason why all of us are getting so worried and anxious is because there's so many different messages going around. All the countries are acting very differently, and you kind of want the UK, for those of us that are in the UK, you kind of want us to be doing what everyone else is doing, and by them taking a bit more of a laissez-faire approach to it, it makes us nervous, which is understandable. One of the biggest things that I've noticed in companies is that some companies are saying, right, that's it, you're not coming back into the office, but other companies are like, no, you're still coming in. And then people that are in retail are told to definitely be coming in until further notice. So because so many people have different conflicting views and so many messages from different companies and different messages from the government, everyone's getting worried. And that's actually it. It's just conflicting messages. None of us really know what's going on. And I find that at times like this, and this is also similar to Brexit, we kind of look to our leaders, our world leaders, as almost our parents in this situation. And we're going, right, so you're meant to be the experts here. You're meant to be telling us what we're meant to be doing, and you're not giving us satisfactory answers. And that's where the fear builds in. That's when we start getting anxiety. That's when we start going, what the hell are we meant to be doing? And so at times like this, you have to take control. You have to take control of what you decide to do. What do you feel comfortable with? What do you want to do? As I say, there are people on 0-hour contracts. There are people that don't have the luxury, I guess, to work from home and, grab a laptop and work from anywhere. So people in that situation, again, is asking you the question, what do you feel comfortable with? What are you happy to do? And I know there are so many different messages. I'm going to say I'm nervous about it, but you just have to do what you feel is right for you. So really have a think about it, because at the end of the day, it's your mental health here. And I think when you start putting that into play, if you're parents, you'll realise that you've got children, which amazingly don't seem to be getting it. They seem to be still having just as much energy as they had before. But, you've got to think about this. What do you feel comfortable as a parent, as a significant other? What do you feel comfortable with? And you have to be honest. One of the biggest things about winning in work is that we always say, a big part of it is honesty, and it's honesty on both sides. I find that the thing that worries me the most is when I don't get honesty from, say, an employer or from the government or anything like that. That's what causes anxiety for me. And I think if it's the same for you, this is a time when you phone your employer and you say, right, we need to talk about what we can do for me to carry on doing my work without being in the office. Take control. If your employer is not listening, or if they still want you in the office, and I get it, when you're in retail or hospitality, it's different. But then you need to sit down with your boss and actually say, right, we need to decide what we're going to do here, because what can we do to carry on working at a time when, you know, things are shutting down, or at least starting to shut down. You know, also remember that you're in charge. You are in charge of whatever you do from this point. If you have a side hustle, this is probably your best time to start working on the side hustle and see if you can get this up and going. If this is, you know, if you're slowly starting to think, oh, hold on, this could really create an issue for me and my job, well, now's the perfect time to start thinking, what's our plan B? Should this ever happen again, which chances are people are saying that this is going to be an annual thing now, then we start thinking about what can you do in your career to get you forward. You know, your company needs to start taking this seriously. They need to start thinking about how you can continue working. At the moment, a lot of businesses are going, right, we're just going to shut down for a month and then we'll pick it back up. But we can't work like that, for instance. Like, we can't do that for a prolonged period. So I would say honesty is really important. Go to your employer and say, you know, this is my situation right now. You know, if it is about money as well, be honest. You know, help me here. You know, same with empowering. As I say, be in charge of your own future here. Go in, speak to your boss, say, this is not working. We need to talk. Collaboration as well. You know, work still needs to happen. I know a lot of events get cancelled, a lot of things like that, but this is the perfect time to start saying to your colleagues, right, okay, I can work on this for you. I know that I know that you've got 5 kids. Let me pick this up for you. Let's see how we can keep the business running, because we need to start collaborating and really working together, because once technology starts making more of a added point, I mean, the one thing that I'm worried about is people losing their jobs. And I think a lot of people are worried about that as well. So this is the perfect time to start collaborating with everyone that you work with. Start picking up the phone to them. Are you okay? Can I help in any way? How can we work on this project and still get this project off the ground? Start being innovators. Start thinking differently, because this isn't going to go away immediately. And while it doesn't, you've got to still show value in the office in order to keep your job. You know, be kind. That's another one that we talk about in Winning in Work. You know, we need to show some empathy. If you know that you've got an older work colleague, give them a call, see if they're okay. You know, same with family, same with friends, same with neighbours. If you live here in the UK, you'll know about the Nextdoor app. Download it. I mean, the least you can do, if we're carriers, right, and we don't get sick from it, apparently, or we don't die from it at least, then surely that the least we can do is start finding out if our neighbours are okay and if we can do anything for them. Because we can do it, they can't. You know, even if it's leaving, try and find toilet paper right now, but if it's like even like a few rolls from your own home and just take them over, let's start being kind. And that works for colleagues, that works for life. Let's start being a lot kinder. Because we do need to stay sane, and the best way we can stay sane right now is by helping other people, is by collaborating. It's about having that social part, because let's face it, like, we are social animals. We need to be around other people. We need to talk. We need to socialise. And the way that we can do this right now is by picking up the phone. I know loads of us don't like it, but this is the time to do it. Pick up the phone, make sure our friends are okay. Start using FaceTime. I mean, I know that I've got friends that are all over the world, but how many times do I FaceTime them? Hardly ever. This is probably the best time to start doing it. You know, if we're all going into lockdown, start FaceTiming our friends. Start FaceTiming our friends around the corner. Start, you know, really getting used to technology. You may as well start using it, right? It's always been there. You know, and I think for those of you that are lucky enough to work from home, and let's face it, we're lucky. We are lucky that we have got this situation, that we can work from home, that we don't feel that we have to go into an office, or we don't feel that we have to go into a retail space, or work in restaurants and be worried that the restaurants are going to close, right? You know, make sure you've got a dedicated workspace. You know, if you can face a window, awesome, but do not work from your bed. Do not do it. It's no good for you, and it's just going to mess up your bed space. You know, just find a window, set up your laptop, or, you know, if you've got a screen, awesome, set it all up. Try and get some coffee, some water on the go, keep staying hydrated, you know, and really turn it into a dedicated workspace. Get dressed is another thing I'd say to do as well. Please do get dressed. Don't just, you know, roll out of bed and start picking up and doing work. because by getting dressed, you're actually setting yourself up for the day. These are good mental health things. You know, if you get up, we've all done it where we have a duvet day, we sort of get up, you know, you've got your daytime pajamas or the pajamas from last night, then you change and have a shower about 5. Don't do it. Just, you know, keep your boundaries, still be in work mode, you know, get dressed. You know, also speak to your other half, you know, and if you can, try and speak to the kids. But if you need to focus on work, basically say, look, I need to step away for a minute, or I need to take this call, and like start talking about how you can keep making work run. I'm not saying to be workaholics, I'm not saying to stay working, but if you're meant to be working from home and you've got a call to be on, it's the best way to do it is to sort of say, right guys, can I just have, you know, half an hour, or ask, you know, someone else to take the kids for a minute. And another thing is to write 2 to 3 things down on paper that you need to focus on for the day. You can probably do more than that, but put 3 things down every day that you need to work on and tick it off a list. Because should anyone then come back to you, and I'm not saying this will happen, but you know what you've been working on while you've been away. You know, it's really, really important. One other thing as well, you know, make sure that you stop for meals. And you know what? Also make sure that you tire out any animals that you've got, because if you've got a dog that's staying in the house, you still need to walk it, and it will lose its mind if it doesn't. So I hope these are really helping, because I kind of feel like we all get to this point where there's so many different messages going around, it freaks us all out. But actually, you know, let's just have a moment here and just go, we can get through this. We can get through this as long as we get through it together, as long as we carry on talking to each other, as long as we try and stay sane. And if we're not, then we need to start telling other people that we're not. We need to be open. If we are too scared to go outside, it's not a weakness. We just tell people we don't want to go outside. We ask other people to help us. We need to be honest. You know, this is a really big point. Be honest. Say if, you know, and even with money issues, if you're worried and you're going, well, I don't get paid until next week or the week after, and I need to buy this food now before it goes out, say to a friend, say to a family member, say to your neighbour, look, I'm broke, I don't know what to do, and get somebody to help you, because at this point, nobody should be on their own. So it's a bit of a crazy time. We don't really know what's going on, but one thing that we do know is that, as I say, from the winning in work sort of points, is that to be honest, say if you need help, shout, you know, to say if you're having difficulties, say if you're scared, let's talk about it, you know. Empower yourself, take control. You are completely in control of the situation, you know, but you just have to own it, really. You know, stop relying on other people to tell you what to do. You know, if you've got to speak to your employer and say, you know what, I don't feel comfortable going into the office, or I don't feel comfortable going into work, so let's find a way to work together on this. Say it out loud, because you'll regret it if you don't, and it'll also you'll just build pent up anger. But also collaborate. Let's work with our colleagues. Let's work together. Let's, you know, if you know that they're going through a difficult time, give them a call. You know, same with you. Like, get on a group WhatsApp for the team if you need to, and just start chatting to people. You know, start being like collaborative. Start finding ways. And could be exciting in a way. Try and find ways to keep the business running, even when, you know, it's not the conventional methods that you're used to. How can you still keep the business moving forward? Be kind, you know, let's all be a little bit kinder to each other, you know. Let's try not to go and buy the entire year's supply of toilet paper and leave other people that need it. You know, let's try not to steal hand sanitizer from hospitals, because what the hell is going on? But if we can just be kinder, you know, find out how your neighbours are doing. It's a little note through the door just to say, is everything okay? You know, Nextdoor app, if you're here in the UK, it's a really great chance to really get to know our neighbours. So be social, you know, talk on here, you know, let me know how you're getting on. If you're worried about something, if there's something about work that you want to discuss beforehand, let me know, write it in the comments, we can talk it through. I'm sure there's loads of people in here that can help out as well. But let's all just stay in touch. You know, we've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, we have all of these fantastic platforms, let's use them. But good luck, everyone. If you're going into work today, I hope it all goes well. If you're not, if you want to stay at home, stay at home. You know, if you're worried about your job in terms of hospitality or whatever, let's talk about it. But let's all get together and actually build a little bit more of a community, because I feel that we're all slowly going a little bit insane. And the community will help us stay sane in an insane world. So I'm Nikki Thomas. This is Winning in Work, and I look forward to speaking to you all soon. See ya.